Happy New Year to everyone. How are you? How's it going? I do hope your 2019 year is starting off right, and if it isn't, I really do hope it gets better. Today marks a special day, as it is not only a new year, it's the day I decided to talk to you about what's going on with me in one video. It was going to be a lot more than that, but I just don't have the time, and we're going to get into that. But I'm not just going to make you go through this entire thing beat for beat. If you're not interested in what I have to say on any specific point, then I am going to give you an option to just skip ahead and go to where you need to go. Below is the description box giving you time markers telling you when I stop talking about one subject matter to another. In this review, you are going to see a review for Bird Box, Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, and then later on in this video, I'm going to be talking about matters on my channel and what I would like to do for the new year and for the fate of one of these segments called Universe Reviews. So don't be too overwhelmed by the time, and if you're seeing this video and you're just like, oh hell no, I ain't gonna watch this whole thing, just skip to wherever you're interested to. So without further ado, let's jump into the first section of this, and that is the movies. So here's the funny thing, my last movie review was Outlaw King from Netflix, and then I saw Bird Box, and I was like, okay, another Netflix movie, and here I am reviewing it, and it's my first movie review in a month. Yeah, not good. But I will be transparent with you in this case because this is one big video. This isn't going to be a trailer to film segment nor a like, love, hate, because there's a lot more talking points for what like, love, hate is in trailer to film, so we'll get to that. But this is just going to be simply a review, and I'm just going to tell you my thoughts on Bird Box because Lord knows that this is a kind of an unknown movie. I mean, I haven't seen a thing of it at all. Okay, so Bird Box stars Sandra Bullock, Trevante Rhodes, John Malkovich, B.D. Wong, and various others. I can't remember the names on the top of my head right now. And the story tells the tale of a mother with her two kids desperately trying to survive in a world that has now been overrun by an unseen force that results in suicide if you see it. Without getting too specific in the details, this is basically a situation in a nutshell. And I can tell you straight up, I love this concept. Having no choice but to survive with merely other than your four senses to help you and no way to really kill the problem at hand leads to some exciting conflict in this movie. The film jumps back and forth between the now overrun world we knew with Mallory, played by Sandra, informing her kids as they're going down the river to find better refuge. That goes from there to 5 years ago when the outbreak, invasion, whatever you want to call it, first started. When you get to the river travel story, it's really engaging. When you get to the flashbacks, they are informative and creative. But I'm kind of divided down the middle with this movie. I enjoyed the second half more than the first, to which I have, so far what I've heard, it's where people say it's run out of steam. To me, this movie kicked my brain into gear over its concept and wanted me to know absolutely nothing of the creature, which in this movie's defense did exactly that. They left the creature omnivorous, which I loved. But the movie just suffers from not really being focused. And before you crucify me for being a hater, just let me explain. I didn't hate this movie. I simply didn't care for it. But I can see where a lot of people would love it, and I could see where a lot would not. Like, for instance, first off, not seeing the creature. These days, people love identifying with what is real, what is a threat, and and overcoming it. And it's probably why A Quiet Place was so effective. Where A Quiet Place succeeds in that type of conflict, this is where Bird Box fails, because you're not quite sure what the real goal is in the current time in the flashbacks, except for survive, learn, survive. The story isn't linear, so I was left with the unfortunate part of trying to understand which part of the story was more important, the current time or the flashbacks. And the flashbacks took more precedence in the story while I was stuck with the characters. I basically knew where everything was going to go from the get-go, which led me to some slightly predictable, but if not entirely predictable moments. I just kind of went, okay, I'm pretty sure that, yep, that happened. No, it didn't. Okay. But that's going to happen. Yep, sure as shit. And when I say that it fails, it means in the eyes of the person who's watching it. So if you want to identify what is going on and you don't get it, that's where it fails. Some of us don't mind the other way around. But where Bird Box succeeds beyond the intrusive comparison to A Quiet Place, because this movie definitely reminded me of it, it's never showing the creature. To me, that's fear. That's keeping you and the characters on their toes, and it is awesome to feel that sense of urgency with them. Sadly, where this movie succeeds in never showing the creature, it fails in almost every other aspect. The rules are established and it's clear, but then people learn fairly quickly, diffusing a lot of the tension. As I said before, the story isn't told in a linear way, as in A, B, or C. It's told C, then A, then B. So you can sort of predict where certain things go as they come along. You know where certain characters may go or survive, but it really doesn't let you latch onto Mallory's character completely. But then again, some people really would be into it. They'll be like, no, I latched onto Mallory right away. I don't know what you're talking about. And later on, a new element is established, and it kind of left me with more questions than anything else, leading me to want to know more than I already know now. Don't get me wrong, when it comes to the monsters, entities, and creatures of any kind, I love the rules and the tensions they bring. But with this, something as intense as this, I just really feel like it should have been simple. And one of the other things that I really hate saying when a film doesn't quite tell its story right, and in my eyes I'm thinking, hey, wouldn't it be better if it was like this, kind of puts me in this like precarious position of feeling or looking like I'm pretentious. It opens up the doors to saying, well, if you're so smart, then why didn't you make it into a better film? And I mean, I literally wasn't there in the movie planning process. So if the movie was made just based off of the concept alone, then it's entirely possible that this was the best version of it. But telling me a mother with her kids that, who cannot see because the force will kill them if they see it, sounds incredibly intense and should be a focused character piece with very limited dialogue and less characters than we got in this film. I just feel like it could have been one hell of a story if it was Sandra with her kids wandering through the woods for an hour and a half trying to survive, keeping the camera work tightly knit, keeping you attached to only their personal lives when and if you needed to know about them, and what they do and how they do it to get to their destination at all. And that's basically just how I thought it would have been a great version of this movie to be. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's terrible because I see it that way. I just didn't latch onto it because of how it was told. But this is how my brain works. It's either that sort of suggestion where I said it should be just tightly knit, taught with a, single camera movement tracking shot type thing to, a linear storytelling fashion. Because yes, I know this was based off a book. Tell me the story from the beginning of the crisis to the next 5 years. And to me, I felt like that could have been a lot more effective as well. And if it sounds like I really hated this film, I didn't. I just didn't care for it, as I said before. And it's really hard for me to dislike or hate a film, but I can see the potential of how a film could go if I'm not interested in the way it's being told now, if they have issues. However, this film didn't impose issues, it just had a different way of telling its story. A few things I did like about this film was its characters, dialogue, and overall pacing. Despite my issues with the back and forth and time and how the story was told, I did enjoy moments in those flashbacks where Mallory spent time with the survivors while pregnant. You find out the people's backstories through some of the best dialogue I've heard in a while. And they were very well spoken with just enough emotion for me that I didn't check out. Like my eyes didn't roll and no one's performance annoyed me. John Malkovich's character actually was a real asshole. So you don't initially like him at first until you realize his character was the most sanest person there. Like he was right most of the time, and I found him a very integral part in these situations. Guys and gals, in the end, I watched this. I was torn, conflicted even, saw a different way to tell the story, found it intense in some moments, but ended up being a fascinating concept piece that didn't have really much else. I could have done with a bit more. I probably won't watch this again, but I do recommend it just based off its concept alone, and I think you would enjoy it a little bit more than me. It's bound to be a good conversation piece. Speaking of which, let me know down below what you think of Bird Box. Let's have a discussion of what you thought on the comments below. And let us move forward to Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Black Mirror Bandersnatch, which is the latest installment of the Black Mirror TV series, is a very unique movie. Before you ask, yes, I have seen Black Mirror, but no, I haven't seen all of it. I really need to, though. I was thinking about reviewing it for a time, and then I ultimately never did. So, shame on me. Sorry. But this story, this choose your own adventure movie, tells the story of young 19-year-old Stephen Butler who is aspiring to make a game based off of a book of the same name called Bandersnatch. The game he is trying to create is much like a choose your own adventure on a video game platform that we all know of, like Heavy Rain and various others. The film proceeds to do exactly as it sets out to do, giving your choices throughout the film, giving you a decent amount of control, letting you choose what he has to eat, listen, decisions throughout the day. And as the movie progresses, the choices become more and more difficult and really affect the outcome of Stephen Butler's dream to make this game he aspires to make. On the surface level, just the concept alone, this is A plus material, and the choices are actually fun, making you want to spend hours and hours just finding the outcome. But while I could praise the material and the concept all the livelong day, there are aspects of the storyline that had me confused. The moments of the story that came unexpectedly, crazily out of nowhere, that kind of leave you going, good God, what's going to happen next? And then it gets even crazier when it starts breaking the fourth wall. You can tell the creators were having a good time with this and they had a lot of fun, and it definitely shows. But you're never quite sure in certain elements where it benefits the story overall. And it could quite possibly be there only to tell you that you're not making the right choices. But this is where I'm going to have to stop talking about it generally and get into spoilers and talk about the things I really, really enjoyed and also some places that left me confused. For example, there is a story element about Stefan's past that involves this stuffed animal. His choice to keep looking for it even though his dad took it, and his refusal ends up making his mother leave late for the next train. This results in the mother dying in the train crash, leaving Stefan guilty for his continued searching and resentment towards his dad because he knew he took the stuffed animal. If you play the cards right, there will be a moment where Stefan travels through a mirror and changes the courses of action in his past, where he finds the stuffed animal and goes with his mom. This leads to his death as a 5-year-old in the past, where his present self dies. And there was just something about that ending I just absolutely loved. It was a little lackluster, considering I didn't get very far, or maybe just far enough, but not enough was accomplished. But it was a hell of an edit, a hell of an ending that I just love how it was portrayed. And in this, those moments are great and they're all in there within there, but there are more of the criticisms of if you don't play the story outright, the twists in events really derail the entire story and his overall quest to complete Bandersnatch. And that's kind of what I was getting at. Oh, these moments are really great. What about the rest of it? You'll find out all sorts of stuff, but if you don't get the ending you want, or end up, getting, if you did want it, you'll find out sort of things like the fate of Tucker Soft, which Stefan gets hired from. The fate of his father, which you find out a lot about his character, and or Colin Rittman. These characters have some integral parts to play, and if you don't do it right, bye. Doesn't matter. Oh, speaking of Stefan's father, there's a really big twist if you follow through with the course of events where you find out that Stefan's entire life is a lie and has been monitored since birth. And he was a part of an experiment, which I found that was absolutely crazy. I didn't get to have a lot of these narratives marry and well, so sometimes the twists in the narratives took precedence than Stefan completing Bandersnatch. But I'm sure that there were narratives that took place that I feel that were probably just fine and carried on well enough. But this is kind of where the more I think about the movie, it makes me want to go back and try out other possibilities. The crazy things that I got were Stefan finding out that he was being controlled by the viewer on Netflix. Like, he'll literally go, "Give me a sign!" And we have the option of saying, "I'm watching you on Netflix." Stefan's dad is using Stefan as some part of an experiment. Stefan getting frustrated enough to just destroy his own work, taking a cup and just sporing it over the keyboard. And there's another one where he's killing his dad and burying the body, which results in him getting locked up before the game is released. And then another one, which I found quite disturbing is chopping up the body and not letting his therapist knows, which does result in the successful release of the game. It gets a 5 out of 5 stars, and then later Stefan gets incarcerated. But then it shows the future where the developers found this out and they went, well, let's reimagine it. And then, it continues that narrative all the same. But that's only one of some of what I had experienced. This was definitely a fun little choose your own adventure film from Netflix, and I really highly recommend it for anyone who wants to have a little fun. The story does derail if you're not careful, but it can have a infectious appeal that makes you want to find out more and more. I like the style and the tone of the film. The time period is of the 80s, so it's perfect for all you 80s lovers out there. And in the end, I totally recommend this. I enjoyed it, loved it, and even I see myself going back to it, doing it all over again. Before I move on to my next segment for this video, I'd love to know what you think of Bandersnatch. Did you enjoy it, or was there just not enough for you to really enjoy this, or does it just not appeal to you at all? Let me know in the comments below. Moving forward, I am going to be moving on to a more personal aspect and the matters and the fate of certain things on my channel. As you can see, I'm standing up with a nice new little computer stand that allows me to present things a little bit better. Thank you, Christmas. Thank you, parents. If you're just joining me on here because you either skipped to this part or have watched all the way through, I'm going to definitely be more direct. With that said, I did want to say thank you. Thank you for taking an interest. I know a subscription is an investment, and in that time frame, I've realized that your investment means a lot to me, and I need to address these certain things so that way there's a little bit more understanding of what you're subscribing to. This segment here is going to be talking about the various aspects of my channel, i.e. 7 minutes or less, love, like, hate, and trailer to film, and last but not least, universe reviews. We're going to dive into universe reviews in the last segment of this video, but in the meantime, I just want to talk about 7 minutes or less and the trailer to film, along with love, like, hate. Wow, I'm really repeating myself redundantly. Starting off this channel, I had a true love for TV, an undying love, should I say. I wanted to be different than what was out there on YouTube, talking about shows I didn't think people were really talking about, that was old and new. Of course, there were plenty of people out there that were making them. I tried looking for them, I couldn't find them, all that stuff, and I thought, you know what, I want to try, I want to get it out there. And of course, starting this off, I was very dry and awkward, and to some, and even to my critical self, I am still very dry and awkward. but my drive and desire only grew as time went on. I have reviewed certain shows twice in the years of all this, growth and stuff like that, and I've understood how you need to be on YouTube, being quicker, more to the point, go with trending topics, rank your videos, and have a lot more personality, stuff like that. And even then, in my learning, some TV shows I had reviewed were solely on an episode-by-episode basis, and other times I just tried to keep up with the times, and I tried to get where a season premiere had hit to where a season finale had ended. But now, missing premiere dates and finales, catching up with other shows that I love or just got into, this whole thing has just led me to be exhausted. And I don't want to be exhausted anymore. Now, that goes without saying that I have reached out to many different people in this community, and I have collabed with many individuals. Ryan O'Toole, Justin, Tyler Calvert, Aristotle Full Throttle. These guys, they were amazing, and they've been absolutely incredible. There's plenty more I haven't mentioned, by the way. If I haven't mentioned you, please forgive me. But I've made many new friends and have been trying to communicate with the little small community that I've been a part of. And I have been incredibly thankful. But sadly, I have made one too many promises. I have been trying to do too much with what little time I have now. And considering the whole 7 minutes or less aspect on my channel, I'm going to cut a few things out and contain just a little bit and do something different. So, starting with one, no more premiere episode reviews. I just simply cannot make it on the weird time frames my life is going off of. My solution: invite you to watching I'll invite you in my videos to follow me on Twitter. I'm going to try and make it an avid point of making that. I'd love to interact with you on there. Whether or not I get a chance to see it or not, I'll let you know. I'll be like, hey guys, gonna be late seeing it, all that stuff. But it's gonna be there. Premiere dates, finales, they're gonna be there. And I would love to interact with you on there, whether you're just a subscriber on YouTube or a follower on Twitter. I just, interaction is the key. Two, the shows I review season by season will still be around, but to optimize on catch-up time, I will make my reviews a week after the season finale, giving anyone who would like to hear my opinion to kind of give them a worry-free sort of thing, give them a chance to catch up, or let me affirm this point, I don't like giving out spoilers. Okay? I hate it. I am never, ever going to spoil something to you unless I am. I'm going to give it a brief section in my video and let you know. This will be the spoiler point. Let's get back to the main point. But the experience I have had, I want to share with you. So I usually try to avoid spoilers because I'm all about your experience as well. So I like to tell you what I know and let the foreshadowing be a part of your anticipation. 3, if there's a show I want to review, but it's already wrapped up or in process of a new season or has a lot of seasons, or I just haven't reviewed a single thing of it and I feel like talking about it, I decided to create a new rendition of 7 Minutes or Less called 7 Minutes or Less General Review. And here, that aspect will talk about the series overall in a 7 minutes or less fashion. Yeah, can't talk. Tongue's getting dry. I like to think of this in this way. Imagine you're out in the public and ended up talking to a random stranger about TV shows. You've seen all there is to know about the topic at hand, and you loved it so much. Or we can say you didn't quite like it, but you're along for the ride anyway. Say you wanted to tell the person the quality of the show and your experience, but you're almost short on time. In 7 minutes or less, I tell you at least the quality and enjoyment or distaste of a season, of all the seasons up to at least 5, in 7 minutes or less. Talking about all this stuff and what kind of journey it can be for you. And at the end, I invite anyone and everyone to tell me what they thought and what they enjoyed. This gives them opportunities to request shows, single season reviews of the show I just talked about, or new ones I have yet to. It can be a recommendation platform in any way, shape, or form, if you can see it that way. 4, I am going to be taking movies and pushing them into the forefront this year. And while you await my TV show reviews, you have a few movies to look forward to. Every time I see a film, I'm literally wondering why I am not watching more of these. With TV shows taking a lot of time to watch, create a review, and posting them, I really see movies being a good aspect to keep this channel afloat. To be honest, I don't really know if my trailer to film gimmick is really working for anyone, but I like to compare what the trailers conveyed in terms of excitement to wonder if the actual movie itself holds up. So it brings a raw sense of knowing if the movie is really worth the investment, but it's not really about taking my word for it. It's just to tell you what I saw and felt. 5, I am going to be keeping Love Like Hate, but I'm going to be changing the title soon to where it's going to be Love Like Dislike. Because while I hate certain movies, it's very rare for me to actually say it in a video that I hate it. So I thought, like, if I hardly hate it, why should I give off a rating of hate when I could just dislike or find it all right? Stuff like that. But consider the fact that it sets me up for failure because a lot of the times you see me just liking or loving. Plus, with the drive to seeing more films, this adds more diversity in my opinions when I at least find myself at question with another film. Love Like Dislike will cover films I've missed in the theater but didn't quite see it because I was not born yet, or was late, or it was just an older film I didn't think that I was going to be very interesting. I'm going to cover it all in just that segment, so look forward to that. And 6, I really need to just work on promoting myself with these videos. Invite you to be a part of whatever I'm talking about. I don't wish to be the only voice heard, and there are so many opinions out there that can be addressed and seen as an aspect never before seen, or at least validated. If it's clear, undivisive, and respectful, I will always respect a different opinion. But I need to encourage you to voice your opinion just as much as I got the guts to post up a video every single chance I got to tell you my own opinion. And that way, I actually have a better way of closing the endings to my videos, and I'm not asking you to do so much of, oh, well, like, share, subscribe, comment, and oh, by the way, check out this, and this. Like, okay, yeah, let's cool the jets here for a second and tell you thank you, you know? But it allows me to wrap up things nicely, and you can go about the rest of your day. All right, guys. This was me being real with you, and as best as I can, anyway. I hope you enjoy those little new changes in my 2 main polls, trailer to film and 7 minutes or less. I do hope you enjoy that. Let me know down below if you like this idea. If not, pitch me an idea if you think I should try that, see how it works. I'll love to talk with you down there. We're going to move on to the next segment. If you're still with me, great, let's do this. If not, let's go! Okay, so you've clicked ahead to this part. You wanted to know what Universe Reviews was. You wanted to know, what is he talking about? What's going on? Well, it's where I sit down, talk to you about what it is I am covering in that time, where it's like if it's an Arrowverse, a Universe Review, where it's like all these things came together, made a universe. That's what Universal Reviews is all about. I'll have all this memorabilia behind me. I get new stuff for my backgrounds all the time. Gotta figure out where I want to put that. That's Capaldi's screwdriver from Doctor Who. So here we are. This is the one thing that I actually really wanted to talk about, really kind of figure out, and I realized that there is no figuring out. There is understanding that this is an aspect on my channel that I know for a fact that I had promised and never delivered. I did the best I could. I basically got started. I was ready to go, and then I got burnt out badly. And then that happened with the Star Wars stuff, and I was trying way too hard. And that's just me being raw. I'm not scripted. I am nothing here. I am telling you 100% facts. I failed in this aspect, and I really wanted to do more. It takes a lot of time, a lot of frickin' time to not only watch, to understand which ones are crossover points. I did that with the MCU, which I might still technically do. The Flash, the Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, they just kept getting more. Then now even, Black Lightning, it may have a crossover point. Who knows? And all these things are things that I have to keep track of and understand that if they ever do, I need to make sure I establish the story before it. And sadly, never get around to it. I'm too busy with trying to figure out the newest show that's coming out and the next movie. And if you are interested, go back, or have you already watched, you'll understand that I'm looking to do movies and TV shows on the singular basis. I will come back to this universe review stuff. I will. When more time provides. Because consider how much, not only just research I need to do, the watch time, the thousands and thousands and thousands of minutes that are going to go into these things, then not just thousands and thousands of minutes of watching, but also writing and then performing and making sure I get it right and make sure I don't blabber on for no reason, and then all that stuff coming down together and saying, hey guys, here it is, and I released it on the wrong day, not trending today, it's not on the day that it's being premiered, that Arrow season 80 is out, and stuff like that. it takes a lot of time. A lot of time. And I sadly could not do it. I'm gonna miss sitting down here, which I have missed. In at the time of recording this, it's been 7 months since I've done my last universe review, and it's basically should be like universe recap. I just recap it for you to watch, so you can catch up. You know, like the new season's coming out. Don't know what to do because I don't want to go through all this. Here, I got you 20 minutes tops. Here's what happened. And I've loved doing it, but I've burnt out, ran out of time, and for all reasons, you know, I'm gonna have to put it on hold, and I don't want to. And it's very pretentious of me to say this is a big deal, but no, I'm just telling you certain aspects of my channel are stopping, and I just want to be transparent with you and tell you the truth. That's it. I'm not saying, you know, oh, woe is me. I'm not looking at any sort of sympathy card. I just want to know that, you know, what you have subscribed for, there are certain things that are going to have to stop for the time being. And I am sorry for that, but me communicating with you. I actually, funny enough, had someone just today at the time, January 1st, 1/1/19, comment on Arrow Season 1 recap universe review saying this was a good idea, try to do more imaging, all that stuff, which, by the way, sir, if you're watching this, thank you. You really made my day. It was just like, wow, why am I stopping this? Oh yeah, because I'm not getting to it like as much as I wanted to. I have bought these seasons, I have put so much in time invested, and now I'm stopping. But I'm probably still gonna watch them because I did buy them. But you know, certain things like this, it's the shitty call. You just gotta make it, and you gotta do the best you can. So, yeah, I might use this background for other things. Maybe a 7 minutes or less general review. I can probably use this background instead. But like I said, the universe reviews are going to be put on hold indefinitely until, I don't know, if some miracle happens where I get paid for my videos and they're a decent amount where I can move forward with, you know, having more free time dedicating to all those things I just told you about, then yes, I would. But right now, that's just wishful thinking. I have a lot of work to do. I am at 450 subscribers right now, and that fluctuates. I am trying to get to 50, and I am trying to get to 1,000, and I'm trying to get higher than that. Just here, if you see this and you're like, wow, this is great, let me subscribe, and you never get it, then yeah, you're just going to go. You're not going to stick around, and I don't blame you for that. I want you to invest into my time that I am doing here so you can find time into what I'm doing useful. So if none of that's working out, again, got to cut the shit. And I'm done, you know. Anyway, I have repeated myself for the next 7 minutes, and probably best where to end now. So yeah, final thoughts on this is basically stopping the universe reviews. It'll come back someday, but until better circumstances, not gonna happen. I do hope you guys understand. There you have it, folks. A few changes in the new year, so I hope it's not too drastic for you, and I hope you're interested in what I plan on doing for this new year. I really do hope that you guys have an excellent new year, and I really do hope I have a good one myself. Thank you all so much for watching, and you got a taste of my intentions, and you know what's going on with me. I would love to know what's going on with you. Comment below and let me know what your New Year's resolutions will be and what you'd like to do. I'm going to get out of here, and I hope that you all have a fantastic and wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and